Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Dominions 5 Skavenblight mod, where we are having just a great old time. If you'll recall, last time we had started to get our blood hunting set up. Somebody reminded me about the blood hunting hotkeys, which is actually a super useful thing for me to remember, which I hadn't remembered until now. Instead of going in to select everybody to move blood slaves around, what you can do is if you hover over a commander, you can press Shift V, and it pools all of the blood slaves in the province to that commander. So you can give them all to a scout, and then just have him move. Then once you get to the province you're going to that has a lab, I think you can press Shift X or something. There's another hotkey that puts all the slaves into the lab automatically. So we're going to keep doing that for a while. We do need more Molder mutators here. We're recruiting Plague Chantors down there for research purposes. Up here we're recruiting Scryer Warlock Engineers for research and forging purposes. I need another fort. And if I recall, wasn't there somewhere I was building? Yes, I'm building another palisade right here in the Cloud Breakers. So we definitely need to finish that up quickly and get another mage production center going. I think I have enough scout recruitment. I'm going to actually kind of move it outwards a little bit. I'm recruiting chieftains here. For what reason? I don't need chieftains there. But scouts in my blood hunting provinces. It's actually nice that I got 3 provinces right here next to my capital, all of which can be efficiently blood hunted because they're all over 5,000 population. Although I guess since it is the Middle Age, most provinces are over 5,000 population, so whatever. In any case, my army here, the army of Tretch Craventail, who is weakened, but whatever, it doesn't really matter, is going to be continuing the push against Sceleria with the help of his Warp Lightning friends. We should be able to take this army out. Now, this place, they have managed to build their palisade, which could potentially be a problem. I don't know that I have much by way of blood magic that I can use yet. I do have Agony, which hurts morale a lot. I don't know how useful Hell Power really is. Basically, blood mages are very good at defending themselves because blood magic has a lot of spells that they can use very effectively. Now, bleed kills one person, basically. Blood burst does a whole bunch of damage, but it costs a lot of blood slaves. It is armor negating damage, however. So one very simple defensive strategy would be to just pile a turn's worth of blood slaves on him and script like blood burst, reinvigoration, blood burst, which could potentially defend him against small raiding parties. Of course, since he has earth magic, he can also cast minor warp lightning, and he can spam that a whole bunch of times and then reinvigorate himself and do it again. So here's what I'm going to do. Fester has 5 blood slaves. We're going to put 2 blood slaves on Petervas. And Petervas is going to be scripted to... It's only range 20. So first, Blood Burst is range 35. Actually, to be honest, it'll be much more efficient to just summon imps. Just summon imps like 3 times. You'll need more blood slaves for that. So what we're going to do is we're going to give him 4 there. So let's give him all 5. So he has 5 blood slaves. He should be able to spam out several imps to defend himself and then cast spells like minor warp lightning, stuff like that. So Fester does not need to go back home because he doesn't actually have any slaves. Zekit has some slaves, but he'll need to keep moving that way. I do also want to start hunting these 2 provinces. And for that, I am going to need... Well, my Plague Chantors will actually do. They're not as good as the Molder Mutators because they don't have the Blood Searcher bonus. But I should be able to... Yes, I can forge Sanguine Dowsing Rods to give myself a Blood Searching bonus. Also, lifelong protection is kind of a cool item. Blood has a lot of these items that are expensive, as in they cost a lot of blood slaves, but since you get so many blood slaves, that's okay. Now, like, lifelong protection just means every turn in battle, you spawn 2 imps for free. Just forever, for no reason. The Imp Familiar gives you a Shadow Imp and a small research bonus. The downside of many of these blood items is, of course, that they're cursed, which means you can't get rid of them. And because they're tainted, which means you could get horror marked at any time and then attacked by horrors and then murdered. And if you're murdered by horrors, then of course all the items you're carrying are lost. But Imp Familiars are still a very, very good item. They're very cheap, they give a research bonus, and they give you a Shadow Imp that can protect you from assassinations. I'm going to have both of these guys forge Sanguine Dowsing Rods for themselves, and then they are going to move out to start blood hunting in these provinces, which are already recruiting scouts. And my other scouts will spread across the world. I'm just going to give them orders to move to distant places. Yeah, like that, where they're just going to go and just be there forever. Because I should be able to just recruit enough to take over the world. Snitch here. Actually, ooh, there's a Kohen down there. Oh, and there's an Emite here. Yeah, so I'm setting him to assassinate just to see if he can assassinate somebody. I think he can. As I said last time, I think he can kill a giant. I don't think that'll be a huge problem for him. So, I think it's about time to end the turn. We're sneaking over here to search for sites. Down here, I don't know why Trolsk the scout is defending, because we're recruiting more scouts, so you, Trolsk, should go down there. And I don't really have anything to do about this province, so I'm just going to have to kind of leave them there. Next turn, I will move out Scrux Maneater with his army. He should have a pretty significant grip infantry here, plus of course he'll have crossbred chaff up in front. So I think he'll be able to do all right. Skretic is casting Molder Pit breeding every turn, so should be fine. And we should get our second palisade done. How soon? 2 months. So next turn, if we have the money, I want to build a lab with Shocknix here. Ratman Owens, why don't you summon allies since you're just standing around? Okay, let's end the turn. Okay, Snix tried to assassinate a Rephite commander. Let's see how it went. Like I said, I don't see this going badly. He's just a normal giant dude, and Snitch is an ethereal, invisible, 24 defense skill crazy rat with 3 magical poisonous melee attacks and a ranged poisonous attack. So, yeah. Also, he's Assassin 8, which means that bodyguards do nothing against him. So he's just going to throw his little shuriken, and then they're going to go into melee, and yeah, he already lost 10 hit points, and he's poisoned the hell out of him. Yep, 2 rounds, and he's dead. Snitch took no damage. Now, battle in Watronia. Let's see how this went. So here's the army. Going in. So he has a Celerian cultist who is casting Unholy Protection on his ghouls. What does Unholy Protection do? Defense, precision, protection. It doesn't give them protection, apparently. Let's see how this goes. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's a huge failure on my part. Big scripting mistake. My Poison Wind Globadiers have advanced past my infantry, which is a serious problem. On the plus side, my rats are kind of clogging up all their infantry while the heavy cavalry gets dealt with, so that's good. The Poison Wind Globes are doing a lot of damage, and the Globadiers are falling back as they are supposed to. Except for a few that are going into melee with ghouls, which is not good. Now, here's the problem. Ghouls are, of course, poison resistant because they are undead. So all of this poison that we're throwing at them isn't really accomplishing anything. However, the Globadiers are actually tough enough to fight ghouls in melee, so they're doing that pretty effectively. And the armies of Sceleria are routed. Excellent, so my infantry are going to clean up. Okay, that was messy, but it did work. We lost 7 Night Runners, 7 Skaven Slaves, 6 Globadiers, and 4 Storm Vermin. And we wiped out a small army. And some of our chaff retreated. I definitely expect that pretty much every Skaven army is going to leave a trail of retreated chaff behind it every battle. We lost both our scouts in Sceleria. So they had a censor, Ale Legionaries, Ghouls, Gladiators, Shadow Vestals, some of their Sacreds, Slingers. Looks like they were patrolling and they just happened to catch me. Let's view the battle to see if we can figure out what their bless is. Maybe we can't. Maybe we don't get to know. Because this Thaumaturge is a priest level 2, but he's not casting Bless. Which is sad, I hoped that he would. The lone rat scout advances into the teeth of the enemy army. And is immediately stabbed. Okay. What about the other one? Against Night Eyes. Let's view this battle. Maybe they'll cast Blessing here. Nope, looks like they're following the same pattern. Personal luck, Sermon of Courage. Okay. Fair enough. Let's go get our Blood Slaves. Yeah, honestly, I'm not actually too worried about my Blood Hunters being attacked right now, so we're just gonna kind of... Nope, not him. Him. Thankwall, yes. Thankwall, the Scout. Let's just get all our Blood Slaves going in here. Okay, what's the hotkey? 1 second. It's Shift Z. There we go. Blood Slaves to the lab. Okay. Now, in the army setup, the only problem with Foul Spawn is that since there are technically a lot of different kinds of units, you have to multiply select them over and over and over. But there, so Scrooks now has 16 infantry fighting, 5 infantry guarding him specifically. I guess he probably doesn't need Council Guard. Why don't we make the Council Guard go forward, give him the Storm Vermin as bodyguards, Guard Commander. And then he also has 40 crap up in front. And he is going to follow the traditional Skaven scripting. So Scrooks Maneater is going to come down here. Throck the Pestilent can go somewhere. Ribby can summon allies. I have 255 gold right now. Let's take out the Council Guard. How much does it cost me to build a lab? 500. Stop recruiting Storm Vermin for a little bit. I want that lab. Oh, 487. Oh, that's so gross. You only cost 65. I don't want to stop recruiting mages. So, Bin Chicken here. You can have that. When did I get an Elfbane? I don't remember that. That's pretty cool, though. It slays magic. It's not a great weapon, but, you know, it's something. Bin Chicken and Vile Throsk. You both get blood search thingies and go search for blood slaves. Our army here is positioned to threaten Sceleria, but honestly, I kind of want to just hold this oh, it has the steel ovens in it. I definitely want to hold this province, despite the fact that its recruitment points are garbage. That's less bad for the Skaven than for most people, because most of my units don't require hardly any recruitment points. Storm Vermin are 9, and that's about the highest. I mean, and 9 is like a normal human guy. But Plague Monks are 5. Censer Bearers are 9. Night Runners are 9. Gutter Runners are 18. So there is that, but... yeah, I mean, if I just want to spam out Clan Rats and Plague Monks, having low recruitment points isn't all that much of a problem. It's not a great place for a fort, but it has the steel ovens, which are a fantastic sight. And it's a choke point that stops Sceleria from pushing. So I really do want to build a fort here, to be honest. Palisades cost 600 gold. I'm going to need to just not really spend money for a little bit here. Hold and attack closest. You need to hold and fire closest. I had them on... that was my problem. I had them on fire and keep distance, so they were trying to push up. Let's move those guys forward just a little bit more. I don't need to be recruiting scouts here. I could recruit human scouts, or Skaven scouts, who are objectively superior in every way. Same stealth. I guess they don't have forest survival. Yep, that's the difference. But they cost less money, so there's still no reason I would want human scouts. Let's put a point of defense up here. Happery can search for magic sites. And then move down here and search for magic sites. Down here, Jarella Cortez should be summoning allies. For ratting purposes. And here is my prophet Blistertooth. So Blistertooth will go with Skrook's Maneater to assault this fort. Still getting my Scryer Warlock Engineers going. I can outfit Doomflayers and Warp Lightning Throwers. Let me do one of each just to see what they're like, since I haven't seen them yet. And speaking of research, we're researching, yeah, Blood Magic level 4, so we've got a few turns left to go for that. Now, Puig Dragonthorn should take these infantry there, scatter those in with the undisciplined troops, put them in a line, put them back a little ways, and Puig should push out this way to continue expansion, because I definitely need to do that, especially because I've been almost surrounded by Ashdod. And what with that assassination attempt, I anticipate there's going to be a little bit of, I don't think he's going to like me much. There's that Kohen. You go up there, you go up there. He's built a fortress here in Copper Canyons as well. So it's a darn good thing I've got that river. Snitch. Honestly, I feel like Snitch could probably take this province. I mean, he's assassinated the Rephite commander. There is going to be a province defense commander. But Snitch has 24 defense skill and 3 attacks. Well, he's got a palisade, so he's going to be building commanders there. Let's just sneak Snitch over and start assassinating one commander per turn. Speaking of assassins, where is my other assassin? Salzar. Salzar is in Retha. Okay, there you are, Salzar. Let's assassinate Clovis the Priest real quick. And might be able to take a province that way. Keep pushing out scouts in all directions. Nodwell Shortfang. What a name. Shocknix, I would really like to build a lab. Yeah, there you go. Okay. I think that's going to be this turn. We're searching for sites there. We're getting some more blood hunting going next turn. Should be good. Ooh, Brassic Squeakclaw got 2 paths, death and blood. Doesn't that mean you can... Yes, you can breed Pestilence Plague Rats, or you can bind Bone Fiends. And I'm honestly not entirely sure which are better. Pestilence Plague Rats, I think, are just giant rats with a diseased bite. Let's have you bind Bone Fiends. Bone Fiends ain't bad, and you get 5 of them for 3 slaves, so... Yeah, I mean, they're just units. They do a reasonable amount of damage for units. So let's start with that. Okay. And then this army, yeah, I think they're going to stay put for now. I don't want them... Well... I could push with them. But Sceleria, the capital, is right there. Oh, and here is Agartha as well. Great. Okay, so we found most of our enemies. We are criminally small for turn 19, but against the AI, that won't matter quite so much. So yeah, let's end the turn. Alright, so we found some more blood slaves. We tried to assassinate Clovis the priest and succeeded. Of course. There was a battle in Watronia, so it looks like we were counter-attacked by Sceleria. So what did they bring? They brought a few random wolf tribe. I think they were probably expecting me to move away. Ha 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 ha! Little did they know. I accidentally trapped some of my rats behind my own infantry. Yep, it's the battle of the crap up here. And our crap won. Yay. Yeah, I didn't even take any casualties. Just free spawn rats. Cool. There was a battle in Retha. Ashdod attacked Independence and was defeated. Oh, they're using an army of entirely independent chaff instead of Ashdod national units. Okay. Their Kohen survived, but their actual units were basically all killed. Interesting. And we have finished the palisades in the Cloud Breakers, so we can now start recruiting people here. So I think I'm going to start recruiting. I need a temple for Plague Chanters and Plague Priests. So for research purposes, Molder Mutators are very inefficient researchers. They're good blood searchers, but I'm going to start recruiting Scryer Warlocks here. And then I'm going to upgrade the fortress if I can. I don't have the money to upgrade the fortress right now. All this mage recruiting I'm doing throw me off. So these are Bone Fiends. They have 2 attacks, they have decent skills, they have no protection, so they die very, very easily. However, they're still probably worthwhile just because they're so cheap. So if you have a whole bunch of them, you can have a front line of these undead 2-attack guys, and they basically function like Long Dead, but they do a lot more damage. So there is a mounted commander here. Salazar, assassinate him, please. Yeah, this is the province that Ashdod just tried to attack. So actually, Salazar, don't assassinate him. Let them deal with this. Because Ritha, yeah, they don't have many units, but 4 of their units are heavy cavalry, which is why they trampled over all those independent troops. This army is definitely going to take Ritha. But I don't think it could take my army. So let's have, first let's have Vile Throsk Blood Hunt and Bin Chicken Blood Hunt. Let's get our scouts moving out. Puig Dragonthorn. Can't actually cross that river because of it's hot. So Puig, yeah, attack Ritha. And Salazar, yeah, go ahead and assassinate. We'll see what happens. Over here, there's another Rephite commander for a snitch to assassinate. No magical sites up there. Let's move down this way to find some, or try to find some anyway. Ivan Moore. Looks like it's probably about to be under attack. Are there any mercenaries I could hire? I could hire the Snake Charmer. 20 units, mainly Long Dead, with an Emite leading them. I actually could probably hold this province if I hire the Snake Charmer. Let's bid 180 for him. And then, down here, I've got... Okay, so a Warp Lightning Thrower. Number of attacks 6, armor negating. Extra effect on hit, Warp Lightning Strike, range 15, ammunition 5. Number of attacks 6. Oh. That's very, very interesting, actually. 32 gold a year, not too bad. Yeah, this Warp Lightning Thrower, it's short range, but when it hits, like, the actual hit is armor negating, but then it does another armor negating hit, which means it gets 2 random number rolls to add to these damages. And it hits 6 targets at once. Now, it's crappy precision, and it only has 5 ammunition, but still, that's pretty powerful. And then the Doom Flayer. Whirling Blades. Armor piercing times 2 versus smaller beings. Number of attacks, 4. And the Doom Flayer is size 3, plus it has awe, so it's hard to hit. And it has very significant protection because the Whirling Blades, and defense, because the Whirling Blades count as a shield. Okay. Interesting. So, this is a hard-hitting melee unit that's kind of tough to kill. I mean, it's like really slow heavy cavalry, basically, because it's hard to kill with decent protection and decent defense skill. And then it gets a ton of attacks, and against humans, it does a ton of damage, all armor piercing. Well, not a ton of damage. I mean, it's only 6 AP damage. So, not high, but against humans, it's respectable, and it attacks 4 times. So against infantry, this stuff, and like skeletons, this stuff is capable of clearing a lot of chaff very, very quickly. Fascinating. Yeah, I'm thinking Warp Lightning Throwers and Doom Flayers are pretty solid. Warp Lightning Throwers strike me as probably being better. Doom Flayers are, I think, more specific. So, I am going to... actually, let's have this guy outfitting Warp Lightning Throwers 24/7, because he can do that with his cross paths, and Fester can go back to research because he is better at research. Let's get our Blood Slaves, get our scouts moving out to the far, far corners of the earth. Zekit, I don't know why you're here. What are you doing? What is your purpose? I think your purpose is probably to hold chaff. I think that's your lot in life. But yeah, these things are pretty cool. I'm gonna keep them back for now, and we'll move them up as necessary. And we've got Throatclaw patrolling here. We don't actually have anybody patrolling here, but we do have a whole bunch of units in the garrison. I don't need more of those. Let's move Zekit down there, and we can have him patrol. All of these foul spawn are very not stealthy, so I kind of lose one of my national strengths when I'm using foul spawn, but they're cheap. I can afford it. Here in Watronia, I want Clawdoom and Fester to be summoning allies, so we're not just wasting time standing here. And I do definitely need some... I need the money for a fortress. I don't have much income at the moment. We're going to fix that, because Scrux, Blistertooth, and these two guys are actually just going to go on the attack. While I'm thinking of it. No, no, not you. Not you. Him. No blood slaves there. There are blood slaves there. Great. Keep moving. Okay, so we've got our army going in there. Over here, I do have 11 rats, so Shocknicks. Wow, -3 morale. That's pretty abominable, isn't it? I definitely want... Why are you still -3 morale? The Beastmaster is making up for it, though. And do you have... Yeah, -1 for up to 1 squad. Okay, so Shocknicks and Ratman Owens are both gonna go in to support the attack on this fortress. We should be able to take that out pretty quickly. Siege strength-wise, we have some. Not a huge amount, but some. And this fortification only has 100 wall integrity, so we should be able to take it down fairly quickly. Siege strength 27. Yeah, your siege strength is 0.8. Oh, that's right. It's because all Skaven have a siege bonus. Oh, yeah. I had not even considered that. That's actually pretty powerful. Okay. Great. So, we've got all of that. I mean, except Skaven slaves. They don't have a siege bonus, but storm vermin and clan rats do. So we're doing fine that way. You need to put your blood slaves in the blood slave pits and go scout somewhere. Go sneak up and stab someone. Do your Skaven-y duty. Okay, we're still just going to hold position here. Sceleria is building up forces to come finish us off. Mainly ghouls. And the poison thing is not going to work terribly, terribly well against ghouls. Ironically, Jaguar Tribe warriors will actually work okay against ghouls, but they take recruitment points. I think what I may do is I may spam out some clan rats here. Yeah, just do that for the nonce. And we will get more troops over to reinforce you as quickly as we can. But for now, that is the deal. We're going to keep expanding as quickly as we can just to get a little more money. And we need to go back to recruiting troops because right now all we have is Molder Pit breeding, which is nice and all, but, well, we've got Molder Pit breeding and Bone Fiends. So that's something. Anyway, let's go another turn here real quick. Okay, the Throne of Autumn has been claimed by Uruk. We've cast all our spells, captured a bunch of blood slaves. We assassinated the Mounted Commander. We assassinated a Rephite Commander. There were 2 battles. Ah, shoot. So the battles in Ratha happened in the wrong order. Oh well. So first we attacked Independence with our hordes of crap, although we do have some Censer Bearers, which is nice. And the heavy cavalry just got tied up in the crap and died. One of our Censer Bearers also died of poison, but, you know, that happens. No, it wasn't a Censer Bearer, it was just a regular Plague Monk. Okay. And then Ashdod attacked us with nothing. These are mercenary swords. Those are crap, and that is 1 Kohen. So what's their bless again? Okay, so this Ashdod has actually given themselves a bless. It's not the best bless in the world, but it's fairly solid. They've got attack skill, solar weapons, which do extra fire damage, and it's effective. I think it's extra effective against the undead. It's also effective against ethereal beings, which is a little scary, because my Snitch is ethereal. Cold resistance, defense skill, magic resistance, and blood surge, which gives them an attack and you saw it in the Machaca multiplayer game. Pangea's White Centaurs had blood surge. It gives an attack and strength bonus when they kill something. So with that, I mean, Kohen's still garbage. Anakites, however, with this bless would be much, much more dangerous than their unblessed self is. Especially the blood surge makes them very dangerous. The attack skill and defense skill isn't bad. Like, that's definitely worth having. And solar weapons is also fairly solid. It can never hurt, it can only help. And against certain kinds of units, it's extremely effective. This army, however, I don't think I'm going to have trouble with. The Plague Monks and the Storm Vermin will eat these guys alive. Yep, there we go. So, what do we lose? We did actually lose 10 Plague Monks, plus 1 of our Censer Bearers. So there is that, but it was worth it. Then in Falgoth, we were attacked again. Oh no, Falgoth, this is a totally different province. They sallied out of their fortress to attack us here, where we had Blistertooth patrolling with some expendable crap. Okay. They've got they've got their prophet back here, Servilius. Yeah, we're definitely gonna lose this one. They also have a Rotarius, so Sceleria can recruit these gladiator troops. they actually have really good morale, but they will only fight until the first time they hurt somebody, and then they leave. Then they're, freed. They're very, very solid. I mean, Rotariuses have a net attack and a trident that does very high damage, and they have decent skills, but as I said, they're only good for one battle. So, we lost Falgoth, we inflicted no casualties. In Hinafi, however, our army of just hordes of unsettling garbage up at the front. Just rats and foul spawn and all sorts of crazy nastiness. Now this is Skaven warfare. Yeah, that went about how I expected it to. We lost 6 guys that we don't care about, and we have already breached the entrance to the fort. So, we are going to immediately... No, don't do that. We're going to immediately storm the castle. You can, move somewhere. This army is doing fine. Just fine. Who's got the garbage? Clunny, you can have the garbage. We'll put the garbage up front, move everything else back. Like that. Okay. Over here, I've got a lot of guys. We're just going to assemble... Oh, he's got 40. Okay. So we're going to give Zeke it 40 garbage and send him down here. Up on this side, we've got... Oh, we got a grotesque. So the grotesque is actually pretty solid. Shock resistant, fire resistant, poison resistant, cold blooded, interestingly. Has a stinger with death poison, couple more attacks, and can breathe fire. Wow. That's actually really solid. And we also got a cockatrice, which has petrifying gas. Area effect beam minimum 4 squares. Special damage. Armor negating, and presumably it petrifies people. And it can fly. That's really dangerous. Okay, cool. We've recruited several warp lightning throwers. And of course we have the one Doomflayer as well. We're just going to keep rolling with that. Definitely going to keep outfitting warp lightning throwers. And we will all roll on all right. Let's get our blood slaves going real quick. Morskit, get back there. Great. So yeah, our blood slave income is definitely coming up. We got, if you'll see here, we got, let me see, 15, 23, 28, 32, I think, if I've done my math right. 32 blood slaves already. Now, we are going to have to start patrolling here, but that won't be too much of a problem. Red Claws, why are you still here? Go away. And we've got 563 gold in the treasury because we haven't been producing units. So, if we pause on him, we can start building the fort here. Clenny, start building a palisades. Like I said, this will be a terrible unit production facility, but it'll be great for casting construction rituals, of which we have many, and forging magical items, and we can still recruit mages, no problem. So that will be fun. Snitch, keep assassinating. Scabclaw, keep moving. We've won here. Salzar, push up into Ashdodite territory. Puig Dragontail picked up a weightless scale mail. Okay, I don't know that that really helped him much, but he's got it now. So that's nice. And he can take his army and move where? All these rivers really bringing me down, man. He can move up there. He can take this province. It looks like... Where was Shinuyama? Yeah, Shinuyama's cap was down there. It looks like Shinuyama and Ashdod maybe going to war. There was a battle in Bay of Plenty. Oh no, that was independents attacking Ashdod and killing them because Ashdod's a stupid AI. And in Farseer Mountains, Sceleria attacked a bunch of independents. Let's see if they blessed in this battle, because it would be nice to see their blessing. Yep, they've got a blessing being cast. Okay, there it is. So they have these lictors. Oh. Their bless is nothing. It's forest survival and mountain survival. That's kind of hilarious. Lictors are pretty solid units, especially against the undead. But with that bless, they're not important. Shadow Vestals are quite solid units, since they're naturally ethereal. And have a high defense skill, so they can cut through a lot of chaff very quickly. Okay, so yeah, they've got Cetician. This is their hero. A Cetician hero. 2 astral, 4 death. Interesting. I wasn't aware that Sceleria had this guy. Okay, cool. That's nice. They've also recruited a bunch of whites. So whites are very tough, but they're very inefficient. I mean, the low-level spell that gives you whites costs 20 death gems for 5 whites. And in the end analysis, they're just units. There's a very, very high-level spell called Legion of Whites that's much more efficient at it and is totally worth casting if you have it. But that's because it gives you whites for like 1.5 gems each, as opposed to 5 gems each, or 4 gems each. Also, they just cast Protection of the Sepulchre, and Protection of the Sepulchre, I think, raises magic resist on undead creatures? Yes, it does. It raises magic resistance on the undead. Otherwise, the undead are extremely susceptible to spells. Although it looks like not the Shadow Vestals, only the ghouls. Yeah, magic bonus +4. So why do the ghouls get it but not the Shadow Vestals? Huh. Interesting. I would have thought the Shadow Vestals would also get that, the Protection of the Sepulchre bonus. The enemy is actually spamming out some water elementals from their wizards over here, so they're doing okay. They're not doing great, though, because Scalerian troops are just good enough to chew through them. So it looks like Sceleria has won this one. They took some casualties. They lost all their ghouls, they lost 6 of their Shadow Vestals, some Shades, 3 of their Lictors, too, which is actually a very serious loss. But they won nonetheless. And that was where? Farseer Mountains? Yeah, it was the throne. Okay. Now, this army is a trouble. It's mainly militia, but it's also mainly undead. And as I've mentioned, my Poison Wind Globadiers are not worth much against the undead. So we need to start getting these troops moving towards the front. To do that, we need to start recruiting some commanders. I've spent all my money, so I can't recruit a commander. Shoot. That is problematical. Highly problematical. Well, let me think about that one. I think I'm going to cut this episode here. I know I'm moving towards slightly shorter videos, which in some ways is a bummer, but it just cuts down on the time that I need to produce them, it's starting to become a struggle, balancing my work and producing a video a day. So we are going to be moving towards slightly shorter videos, except for the multiplayer game, or multiplayer games. I will be starting more of those soon, where I'll be able to do longer videos just because in any given day, they only require like half an hour total time. So, I'll see you in the next episode. We've made progress. We've got Sceleria contained over here. We've got their fort over here that we're going to be taking. We've basically got this side locked down, and all we have to do is pile a sufficient army on this province, and we should be able to hold pretty much indefinitely. We will be getting rat ogres in about 2 turns, and I'll definitely be making some of them, if only because I'm curious to see how good they are. Hopefully they're really good. Like, I want them to be really good. I can't guarantee that they are, but we'll see. Ideally, they'll be powerful and cool, and I'll love them so much that I'll recruit a bunch more Molder Mutators and start spamming them out wholesale, which would be nice. It'll be fun. The blood searching is going pretty solidly. We've got 5 provinces being blood hunted right now. On average, they're bringing in, like, counting the times that we fail to find anybody, they're probably going to be bringing in 4 or 5 blood slaves per turn each, on average. And, of course, we will expand. Probably will start blood hunting these provinces as well. Like, this province is already giving me nothing because its unrest is so high from some freaking site that I haven't found. This province, well, it has a lot of income, so we might not want to blood hunt that one. Falgoth is definitely a good candidate. The Cloudbreakers, honestly, are a pretty good candidate because their income is not terribly high. It is a fort, but since its income is not terribly high, that's alright. I do need to finish upgrading this fort, so as soon as we take that, I'll tell you what. The next scout, let's leave Red Claws here. Next turn, he'll be able to start upgrading the fort while our mages begin researching. And we will push on. The war against Ashdod is also going okay, mainly because Ashdod is not playing smart. If they were using their Sacreds, if they were using the Anakites, I would be up a certain creek without a paddle right now, because I really don't have anything that can stop Anakites effectively. And I'm trying to think of something that I could have very quickly that could stop Anakites, and I'm sort of drawing a blank. I mean, mass storm vermin, possibly. Warp lightning if they get lucky. But beyond that, it would be a significant challenge to stop a determined push by a group of blessed Anakites. So I'm glad they're not doing that. But in any case, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next episode.